Hey you guys, it's Moonlander back with another horror movie review. And today we're going to be looking at a new movie I found in the new releases of the horror section on Amazon called They Remain.
I've got samples here from men, women, and children.
I thought we were here investigating new phenomena.
And I had this dream. People appeared. They gathered around me. Maybe they weren't human.
So how did this dream end?
It's the thing, I don't know if it ever did.
Now, I picked this movie out of desperation. I couldn't find anything in the new releases that looked promising. And this movie is sitting at a 4.0 on IMDb with 174 reviews. And it was the best option. Most of the other movies I even thought about considering that I haven't already watched are sitting at a 4 something or lower. And anyway, so I started watching trailers on some of these 4-point movies. And this one, the trailer looked the most interesting to me. And now, I have never heard of this author, but this is based on a short story by a writer named Liard Barron. So it's about these two people that get dropped off at a secluded camp via helicopter. And now this camp is like in the middle of these woods, and it is secluded. There's no one around. Now, of these two people, one is a guy that's an outdoor survivalist, and his duty is setting up cameras surrounding the camp in various areas and maintaining them. And now the other person's this woman that's like a biologist or something, and she's supposed to be running tests on like soil and researching information. And now it's just these two throughout the whole movie, except one brief moment when the helicopter pilot picks up some human remains they found.
What's going on in the rest of the world?
The decline of civilization continues apace.
So as their stay at this secluded camp continues, paranoia and tension grows. And their dreams also increasingly become more vivid and frightening. And they include glimpses of a cult that once operated on these very grounds in which they're performing their research. So the things I liked about They Remained is I was shocked about how much I enjoyed this movie. The two main characters in this movie I thought were great. They did a good job casting these two. I thought they both played their roles really well, and I enjoyed watching them interact with each other. And I'd also have to say, for the main actress of this movie, this Rebecca Henderson, I didn't really find her all that appealing when I first saw her, but as the movie went on, I found this woman to be very attractive. Yeah, I don't know if it was just the character or what, but yeah, there was something seductive about her for sure. And now, the writing for this movie is really good. Now, I am assuming that's because of the book. The only other writing credit it listed is the director himself. And now, when I was looking up information on this movie, I found an article on Lit Reactor comparing the story, which is called 30, to the movie, and it was a pretty lengthy article about how good of a translation to film this movie was. So if you have read this guy or read this story, I think you're gonna be happy based on what I read in this article. And finally, I would have to mention that I really enjoyed the camera work in this movie. Now, there's a lot of like still nature shots, and they're really fun to watch. I really liked the attention to detail that was put into what was shown in this movie. There's quite a few scenes that while I was watching, I was just like, wow, this is cool. And it's creepy. Whether it be this guy just standing in the woods, staring off and listening, trying to hear or see something, because he doesn't feel alone, I imagine. And they just have him down lower, almost hidden amongst these leaves. And, it just looks awesome to me. There's lots of shots in this movie that I found really appealing. So the things I didn't like about They Remain is, there's not a lot I didn't like about this movie. I will have to say, when I read the description on IMDb of the movie, or when I was reading that article, there's parts of the story that I didn't pick up on that they mentioned, like that these two had been previous lovers, which I didn't get that when I was watching the movie. Maybe I missed something small when I was writing notes, I don't know, but I didn't get that. And I never did understand exactly what they were researching. The best I gathered was all they said was phenomena. And besides that, they were enlisted by some corporation, and there must be some sort of profit involved with their research. And then finally, one part of the story that I thought was odd is the very end. I don't want to spoil the movie, but the way it ends was a little bit, off to me. I didn't get particular things while watching this, and that led me to even imagine that it was going to conclude in the way it did. And I'm talking about the very end. If you've watched this, so you know what she says to him at the final part. And then finally, there is only brief glimpses of this cult. And I didn't like any of this footage. It was basically goofy, like a bunch of people just hanging out, holding a knife or something. It wasn't that cool. So my final thoughts on They Remain is I thought it was an awesome movie. And now it couldn't have had a big budget, and it does a good job. I was really impressed by this movie. And I ordered this guy's book that the movie's based on, and it's one of 8 short stories in this collection. And I'm really excited to get it. I want to read this one just to see really how it compares and see if I can gather some more information about the characters. But anyway, I'm going to give They Remain an 8 out of 10. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next review.